Okay, guys, so I'm going to explain this the best that I can. And if I'm going to explain it like two ways, I'll go fast. And if you want more help, just let me know. So f is a linear function, and 0 is less than a is less than b. Then what is the value of this integral? Now it's important they told us 0 was less than a was less than b, because then we just know that this is not a backwards interval. Okay. So, because if it were a backwards interval we were integrating over, we'd have to negate, the answer. But, okay, but let's zero in on this, guys, because it's kind of confusing. So we know that, like, if we want to use the fundamental theorem of calculus to go backwards, so the antiderivative of f double prime would be f prime. Okay, so that might help you. But let's focus more on f as a linear function. Okay, so linear functions. Here's just some examples. 3x plus 2, y equals 5 halves x minus 7. Okay, these are lines. So let's take their derivative. Let's say, okay, so the first derivative of this would just be 3. The second derivative would be 0. The first derivative of this would be 5 halves. The second derivative would be 0. So guys, by telling you that f is a linear function, they're telling you that f double prime is 0. So what we're really being asked is this. I don't need that many parentheses. I always use a lot. Okay. That's bothering me. So a, b, 0, dx. Okay. So they're asking us this. So you could think of the fundamental theorem of calculus if you wanted to. I'll show you that in a minute. Or, guys, just think about the graph of y equals 0. That's the graph of y equals 0. It's the x-axis. If we think of this integral as, what it means, the area under the curve, this is the curve. Here's A, here's B. So they're asking for the area of this straight line. That doesn't have, that's 0 area. So that would be 0, okay, because it's 0 area. Now another way that you could think of it is like this. You do the fundamental theorem of calculus. What is the antiderivative of 0? Guys, the antiderivative of 0 is any constant. So it could be, we might want to use like c for it. It could be 2, it could be 3, it could be 5, it could be anything. The antiderivative of 0, we really don't know what it is. It could just be any constant. So if you want, just plug in any constant. I'll plug in 3. All right, so this is just a random constant. If you plug b into 3, you just get 3. There's no variable here. If you plug a into 3, you just get 3. So either way, the answer is 0.